What's the gossip?
Gossip in the Grove.
What's the gossip?
Gossip in the Grove.
What's the gossip?
Welcome to Gossip in the Grove. Today we have a special guest. Her name is Janet Edwards, and she is a longtime resident of Oak Grove and a city council member. So welcome to Gossip in the Grove.
Thank you. This is so exciting. I love this podcast.
Okay, so today our topic is the Oak Grove Ghost Bridge. So we want to know, what is the history behind the Ghost Bridge and why is it considered haunted?
Well, there is a lot of information out there about the haunting of Ghost Bridge, but I am going to start with some history because the history actually kind of connects to the haunting.
Ooh, do tell us more.
Okay, so the original Ghost Bridge was a steel bridge that only one vehicle could cross, and it had wooden planks. And it was there for decades and decades and decades. The current Ghost Bridge was built in 1983, so it's very new. So the Ghost Bridge where the haunting took place was a different bridge.
Oh,
So I was surprised to find out that the new one was built in 1983.
So did they keep anything from the old one, like any of the same steel, or did they like tear it down and start whole fresh?
I think they tore everything down and started fresh.
oh wow.
So a couple interesting facts about the bridge right now. The NBI, which is a National Bridge Inventory, they come and they review bridges every 10 years. So it's going to be reviewed again in 2030. But right now, NBI has rated the current bridge as fair, which means it needs repair or correction. And they also estimated about 80 vehicles cross the bridge every day,
Oh wow.
Okay.
which is more than what I thought. Because I thought,
Yeah, I didn't
thought
think it'd
there'd
be that many. I didn't think that'd be that many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I talked to several long-term residents, and the first haunting goes back to 1940. And I don't think it was actually on the bridge, but back in 1940, this gentleman saw a ghost at the old mill that was just upstream from the bridge.
Okay.
So that kind of connects a little bit with the history. So the bridge is located on Carter Road right off Hugh Hunter. So when you go down this road, it is so creepy.
It really is, especially at night.
Yes. It's a narrow road. 2 cars can drive on it, but it's still very narrow. And there's trees that line both sides of the road, and they're big trees. And in the summer, when they have leaves, it's like it creates a canopy. It's almost like you're getting like enmeshed into this different portal.
Oh my goodness! Now that's creepy all on its own.
But I went out there a couple days ago at night, and
Gutsy.
super dark. I did take my husband with me for an escort because I was scared. So I went down the road, and of course there's no leaves on the road. So you still have those giant trees on both sides, and it's dark. It's so quiet. And it was so creepy. It was so desolate and isolated. So just going down that road is a trip in itself.
Oh wow. So did you get like goosebumps and like did you feel like there was somebody watching?
Yes. The whole time I was going down the road.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my gosh, what is that?
Did you stop and like get out? Like you stopped and got out, right?
Yes. So out here at Ghost Bridge, you can hear the water and a little bit of the cars on the interstate, but it's very dark. The trees are really empty and scary. Let me show you what we're looking at. It's pitch black out here. There's a lot of stars in the sky, but you can't see anything. I can see why they call it Ghost Bridge. So back to the history. So that area and the land that the bridge is on was originally owned by Edward Rumsey. And interesting tidbit, his brother John is the man who invented the steamboat.
Oh,
So
wow, okay.
very, very loose connection to something pretty important.
yeah.
He sold the land to a gentleman named John Bowman in the 1850s. So we're talking, centuries ago.
Right.
Mr. Bowman farmed it and had some livestock, and he wanted to be buried on his land. So I don't have a date that he passed away, but he allegedly was buried on his land. Okay. So was it Mr. Bowman's ghost that was seen in 1940? And then,
Was it a male figure?
Yes.
Okay, so the first sighting was a male figure.
Yes. Okay. And the story behind that one is that Mr. Bowman, who loved his land so much, still walks around to check on his fields to make sure everything's good.
Aw.
Okay, so he's not a scary.
He's not a scary
person.
one.
Okay.
He's just making sure things are cool.
Yeah. So
Making sure it's
he
being
wasn't
taken care of.
murdered or
No,
anything.
no,
Okay.
he
He
just-
just died of natural
He
causes.
died and he loved his land and he still is taking care of it, I
Okay,
guess.
well, okay.
Then after that, it was sold to the Logan family, and that's why it's called Logan's Mill.
Logan,
Okay.
Okay.
I
Okay.
didn't know that.
I did not know that.
So there is 4 ghost stories attached to this bridge. So the first one was actually back in 1926. And there was a man named Smokey Harris who had a very contentious marriage. Him and his wife allegedly fought all the time. And one night when they were fighting, he killed his wife.
So this wasn't a soldier then.
No, this one's in 1926.
This is 1926. Okay.
So he killed his wife. Then he allegedly threw her off the bridge. They found her. He was convicted. And in December of 1926, he was the last person in Christian County executed.
Oh, wow. So these are like facts. These are like not just stories.
Okay, so this is a fact.
like,
Yes.
like he really did kill his wife. He really did
Yes.
throw her off the bridge, and he really was convicted.
Yes.
And
But-
executed.
And
And
executed.
executed.
And executed.
Apparently the last one.
But
Yeah.
it wasn't Ghost Bridge.
What?
It was before it became Ghost Bridge?
No,
It was the Waterworks Dam in Hopkinsville.
Okay.
So
What?
how that ghost story got attached to Ghost Bridge, I don't know.
Okay.
But I found that when I was doing some research, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'd never heard that story before. But there's a couple places you can find it, and people are connecting it to Ghost Bridge. But also, if you Google Ghost Bridge, you'll find a pretty famous picture of an apparition.
I saw that.
That's not Ghost Bridge.
But wasn't that the old bridge?
No.
No, okay. Okay.
Because
so
the old bridge
yeah.
was steel and was like
one-
wooden.
okay, I got you.
So
Steel
it
and wooden,
wasn't-
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So the second one was Mr. Bowman, who was a farmer who allegedly still hangs out in that area checking on his crops.
Okay.
But he's a good ghost.
Okay.
The third one was 2 young Amish kids.
Okay.
So the story that I was told was, they're kind of like they want to get married. Their parents said no. And they went out to Ghost Bridge. They held their hands and jumped off the bridge and killed themselves. And
Oh.
allegedly, on the anniversary of when they passed away, you can still see them on the bridge holding hands.
And when did this, what time?
What day is that?
Yeah.
What
I couldn't
year?
find a date.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Okay.
But unfortunately, when I spoke to the Elk Grove unofficial historian, Councilwoman Jean Lovell,
Yes.
she said the Amish community didn't move here until like the 1990s.
Okay.
So
And we don't know whether this happened before that or after that.
no. There was no dates attached to it.
You're saying I'm guessing there's multiple ghost bridges.
Yeah, if you
But
type
different
in
ones.
Ghost Bridge, Kentucky, you'll find dozens.
Dozens, yeah.
And I think
But if you type in Oak Grove Ghost Bridge, it does
It
pop
does.
out about
yes, the last one.
yes,
Right, okay,
yes,
okay.
because that's what we're like.
I'm
the
pretty
19,
sure this is the one
yeah.
that I actually know.
This is the one that
story
I've
I
heard. Yes.
This
Right.
is the one that like everybody knows about.
Yes.
The famous picture is supposed to be this woman.
Yes.
Right.
So the story goes, it was in the late 1960s, and a man who was a soldier came back from being deployed from Vietnam. And when he came home, he found out that his wife had been unfaithful. Some stories say she was pregnant. I don't know if that's really true or not.
I heard that side of the story that she was
That
pregnant.
she was pregnant.
Mhm.
So the soldier talked her into going out for a night drive, just to kind of talk and, go
The
out.
husband did.
Yes, the husband, the soldier,
talked
yeah.
to her. Mhm.
So they went out on a drive on Carter Road, and they got to the bridge, and his car stopped on the bridge.
Did he stop the car or did it just stop?
He did it.
Okay.
So they both got out of the car, and he popped the hood, and they were looking at it, and he strangled his wife
Mm.
and then threw her body over the bridge. Got back in his car. He was hopeful that the body would just float down the Red River. It meets the Cumberland, I think, and nobody would ever find the body. He thought the fish would eat it.
Mhm.
But that's not what happened. They found the body. He was caught. Now, they say that this woman's apparition appears on the bridge at night. And if you drive to the bridge and stop in the middle of the bridge, your car will not start again until morning.
Okay,
I wonder if anybody's ever
I've
tried
done it.
that.
I've tried it.
And?
I've tried it. So, it did start again. Like it didn't wait till morning, but I was with a friend and we went out and we stopped. We got out. We were looking at the bridge and like we loved to do that kind of stuff. Go out and find like creepy places and I don't know, try to be scared. And when we went to go get back in the car, it did take a minute. Like it wouldn't start right away. So I mean, and we could chalk it up to car troubles. I don't know. There was some other things that have happened before, so I don't know. But it did start again that same night. It wasn't like we were stranded there.
Did you see anything?
We didn't. We tried. We wanted to see something, but
Yeah.
no, we didn't see.
Did you feel it? I mean, because sometimes you don't see it, but you can feel it. You can like,
You could definitely feel a vibe. It's definitely, even if you don't know what you're feeling or you don't know if it's like a ghost, it's definitely creepy enough that I think just about anybody could stand on that bridge and feel. And then when you hear the water underneath, it's creepy.
Definitely. I felt the presence when I went there.
Right.
To even take the pictures. Because I went over there just to check it out. And I did park on the bridge. And I did put it in neutral to see what it, because I heard if you put it in neutral, the ghost will start to push you off the bridge.
oh,
I heard that too.
And
I
I did that in the company vehicle. Sorry, Miss Tracy. But
yeah, he was like, I'm gonna go take pictures. I said, okay, just be really careful. Just come back
Was
safe.
it at night?
no, it was during the day, during work hours. But yeah, I did put it in neutral. I did feel the presence. Put your car in neutral, and the ghost will push it. Oh my God, it's working. Oh, it's rolling backwards by itself. Oh my God. Oh, that's pretty scary.
think that if you go anywhere that's haunted or has the stories of being haunted or has a history like that, I think that if you want to feel something, you will feel something. And I
Absolutely.
think when your intentions are there,
Right.
they kind of it's there. Like it's there if you want it to be there. Now if you go and you're like, I don't believe this, you
Well,
know.
see, a lot of people don't believe in any of this. you
Right.
know.
Right.
But and then I heard, and I don't know if you researched that too, but and correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard that she starts crying.
Yes.
Okay, she
Mhm.
cries, tries to look for answers.
Yes.
Is what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
And then
so she doesn't know why she was killed.
yeah, I guess. I mean,
I have heard that.
yeah.
That like people who are like in a traumatic type death, and their
She
presence
can't rest in
stays
peace,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, they want answers. They want to know why.
So
I
they
did
can't
hear
move
that
on.
I heard one story that she was looking for her baby.
Oh, that's so sad.
That she was crying, trying to find out what happened to her baby.
Mm.
So I don't,
That's super sad.
So when you said,
yeah, that she was pregnant.
yeah, when you said she was pregnant, I said, oh, okay, well, that kind of goes into that kind of
Right.
makes sense if she's crying and,
Yeah.
I was killed, but where's my baby? Because she knew and she was looking for her baby this whole,
Wow.
So that's just kind of, So what happened to him? Did they found him?
Well, unfortunately, there's no documentation to substantiate this ever happened. So I found one article where a gentleman came down and researched Ghost Bridge, and he had contacted Oak Grove PD, and there was never report of it. I went through the Kentucky archives. I can't find anything in there. So again, was this something that happened and they actually never did recover the body and it is a real haunting? Or is this again like Smokey Harris confusion? But I went out there the other day with my husband. It is so scary at night.
And that's when I went out, was at night.
It's dark.
We even turned the headlights off.
There's no.
And then we saw headlights and got nervous. So that's when we got back in the car and we were trying to get it back started. And then there was not a car. So
But there's no sounds. You hear a little bit of traffic from I-24, but you
Little bit
hear
of water.
the water, but there's no birds, there's no crickets, there's nothing. It's total silence. So I went out there. I was taking a video and some selfies, and I almost lost it because I saw this thing in front of me, and I was about ready to scream, and I realized it was my shadow. But you know that millisecond when your heart just totally drops?
Your heart just goes, ah!
But when I watch the video, you can see there's like a haze.
Right.
But I mean, is that like from
Well,
the water?
they say,
or
Like
is
the
there-
spirit?
what is it?
Yeah.
It's called it's little white dots, and it's their orb.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
the spirit.
So if you like take pictures or if you are video and stuff and you see these orbs, that's spirits.
yeah.
That's-
And in an area like Ghost Bridge, it almost like you can't be like, no, there was a flash from a light, because there is no light.
There's
out
nothing.
There. There's no
It's
light.
it is so incredibly dark. Like if you have never been out there at night,
I haven't. And-
It's an experience.
well, take your husband and go out there. It is definitely an experience, but I would not stop my car.
Yeah, we did. We were brave and bold.
Well, see, the reason you stopped your car was during the daytime, Lee.
Correct, yes.
So if it was at night,
She made me
you
more
know,
mad.
Definitely. I would have
then-
thought twice about that.
Yeah, I would say,
But
well, you
now,
know.
if you have been there, you'll know that the bridge is flat. So there's
Yeah.
no incline.
Right.
There's no reason why if you put your car in neutral, it
would
should be
move.
rolling.
Right.
So when I did that, I knew it was real.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah.
There's just such a sense of foreboding. It's almost like there's like a pressure that's like pushing on you when you get out there. There's something out there. I don't know.
And I didn't realize that there was four different
Yeah, I didn't
stories.
either.
I only heard. Now, Lee's the one that told me about the Amish when we were doing that, because I was telling him I was really excited that you were going to talk about the Ghost Bridge and you were doing some. And he goes, well, I heard something about the Amish. I said, Amish? I said, that's the first time I've ever heard. I didn't know anything about the Amish. I only heard
soldier story.
the soldier story with the woman, and she was pregnant, and she was. You would see her on the bridge crying and looking for answers. Is what I understand.
But with it being a military town, we all know how that is.
Yes.
Spouses go home all the time.
Right.
Did the soldier really do this? And he just went back and lived his life and told everybody his wife went back home. They're getting a divorce, and they never did find the body.
But if that's the case, then how did the story come about? Right? Someone would have had to
They
either
would have
seen
had
it.
to have known.
Or hearsay.
Or he,
Right.
Yeah.
And then if it's not a true story, then I wonder if there is a real story that we don't know, because the presence is there.
Something is there, definitely.
Yeah. Or you could be, right when you said, okay, it's military. Maybe it was a cover up, or the soldier covered that up, killing his wife, and the soldier maybe went what is that? When you
AWOL. AWOL.
Yes,
Mhm.
and maybe the soldier went AWOL. Said his wife had went back home, and he goes AWOL, and maybe they didn't find the body, and maybe she is there in the spirit, because that was back in the days 1960s where it's like so he may have went AWOL. Nobody knows who he is, and and all the people that he served with is probably retired or had passed or whatever.
I would love to be able to talk to some of the soldiers that were stationed here at that time.
Exactly. Just to hear it, and just to know, just to hear.
Like, was there gossip when this
right,
happened?
Right.
Right, because there could have been gossip back in the day.
No, no,
You know what I mean?
Right. And you said the two Amish. Are they seen? Are they being seen? Do you know if they're being seen?
Well,
the two Amish
the
kids?
story I was told that is on the anniversary of their death, but I couldn't find a date. But I kind of got the impression from what I did hear, it was like in the late summer. So I don't know, but I don't have any contacts in the Amish community, but that would be really interesting. You think they would like disclose that if there was like a story there, or is that something that's held close to them that they wouldn't talk about?
Right.
Yeah, but you said that what Jean said, they didn't come into until what, the 90s, 1990s or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I think
so
there
maybe it's all of the different spirits. The guy who's just trying to look out for his property, him, and then the Amish, trying to, and then maybe there was some truth too. So what else have you found out? What was anything else that?
No, not a whole lot. So I did get some information from 3 residents. So Jean Level, who, like I said, is our unofficial historian.
Yeah.
If you want to know anything about Oak Grove, she is the one to find out.
I was going to reach out to her next for a podcast thing with
sweet.
her.
It was actually her father-in-law who saw the ghost in 1940.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
The other person was Milton
So we
Perry.
know it wasn't 1960 then. We know it wasn't the soldier then.
It was not the soldier.
So the 1940 had to have been the
guy
Amish?
the
Or
guy
the-
with the crops,
Mr.
right?
Bowman.
Yeah.
Okay, with the crops. Oh, okay.
And she did say that he saw the ghost a little bit away from the bridge. So that's what makes me think it was Mr. Bowman.
And Mr. Bowman was in 1850s, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So
1850s.
so she's a great resource. And then I also talked to Milton Perry. He is a longtime resident. He used to be the chief of police, and he lives on Carter Road.
Oh, wow.
So I'm sure he's
So,
seen.
Yes. So he's seen. And
What did he say he's seen?
Well, we didn't really get into that.
Mm-hmm.
We were more talking about like the bridge, like how long it's been there, what the old bridge looked like, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't ask him though what he's seen, but he's been in Oak Grove for a long time and living on that road. I'm sure he's probably seen something.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sure of it.
For sure.
And then the last one is Kim Locklear. She's a friend of mine. She actually grew up in Oak Grove.
I did not know Jeff's wife grew up in Oak Grove.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
So she grew up here. She remembers the old bridge, and she knows a bunch of stories, about kids going out there. The bridge is covered in graffiti.
Yeah.
It is.
I
It
did
is.
see that.
Which kind of
Adds
gives it
to the
another
effect.
little like ooh look to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, she remembers. She has stories about kids going out there. They would go out there and party and scare each other and so she knew a lot too.
So when she talked to any of those kids, did the kids ever say if they've seen anything?
Yeah. So everyone that I've talked to that's been out there, they all say there was something. Kind of like
Whether or
just
not you couldn't see it, but you can feel a
Feel it.
presence. You can feel either the hair on the back of your neck or the arm, or
Your hair standing
your
up.
hair
Yeah.
standing
Yes.
up and stuff.
Some chills,
yeah.
some
Chills.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so-
Interesting.
Go out there at night
Mm-hmm.
and then let us know what you see.
Yeah. And what you feel.
That's right. That's right. And that's crazy because that's kind of how I started the movie. I wanted to base it in new day age, 2024, 2025. Some teenagers actually partying on there, drinking, spray painting, disrespecting the bridge, and that's what's gonna haunt them at the end of the day.
Yeah.
They will pay for what they did. That's history, and that's kind of how I got the story. And it is going to go back into the 1950s, 1960s, and kind of show some of the history that's never even got to be displayed.
Yeah, you can even go back to like the 18 50s
Right.
and start with him.
Exactly.
And then show him
Go
just
down the
kind of,
line,
go down the
right.
line of, except for the one that you said was in Hopkinsville.
Yes, I was. I don't want to say I was disappointed, but I was disappointed. I was reading this story, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. I didn't know this. And then at the end of the article that I was reading, they said it was in Hopkinsville. But it's still interesting. It's close by. It was the
Right.
last person executed
Wow,
in
that is-
Christian County, which is interesting. They, usually people have like a special place where they execute people. So he was executed, they said, in Christian County in December of 1926. So,
Wow.
but I do find it interesting how that story got attached to Ghost Bridge.
Yeah.
It's not one of
Yeah.
the most popular ones, but
Right,
it was
right.
still attached to it somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Maybe it being so close.
Yeah.
Maybe. And if it was there the water on that bridge when he killed and pulled it off? Maybe that one
Maybe
just
it's the
went-
same river.
That's what I was just going to
Red
say.
River.
Yeah.
Maybe it came
Maybe.
down and went
Yeah.
into
Yeah,
the Ghost Bridge
I was
area.
gonna say, could the
and
body
then
have been recovered at Ghost Bridge, and maybe that's how. it got
maybe
That's the
that
connection.
was the
Wow.
body that was recovered.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and look in the article.
Yeah.
Because there's actually quite a bit about that one.
Yeah,
Right.
and maybe that
About that case.
maybe the water
Rushed it down.
rushed it on down to Oak Grove.
And
you
the
know?
Red River, if you track the Red River,
Mm-hmm.
it is crazy because it'll come down, then it goes up,
Yep.
and it loops, and it's.
Maybe.
I went through there. It was really creepy.
Maybe that is
How
Where-
it connected.
that's why it's connected. Maybe it's her
Wow. Wow.
that's seen in our bridge because she was floated down to our area.
right. And then our bridge has the shallow
Right.
rock, so that's probably where she stopped at.
Maybe where she
Yeah,
got.
that's what I was
And
thinking.
now it
in.
makes sense when you say, does their spirits leave their body from where they died at, or where they end up
ended
at?
up at,
And
which
see, that's where she ended up at. So I'm
yeah,
thinking,
because she was in the rocks.
correct,
And who's to say she was dead before she got thrown off?
correct.
True.
Yeah, because she
That's
could have been
even-
swimming away
She
and
could have
trying
been,
to.
yeah,
Yeah.
drowning,
drowning, yeah.
struggling, whatever.
We don't
Right.
know for sure.
Yeah.
Right, but
And that's interesting.
that is interesting.
Yeah, that's
And now we're
very
just adding to
interesting.
the gossip.
We're just
so.
we're adding to the gossip now.
Yes, we are. That's what the podcast is about, right? I did have an interesting question. I didn't know
Okay.
if you might know. He strangled his wife. Do you know if it was with his hands? Do you know?
Yes, it was supposedly with his hands.
Okay.
And when the body or the apparition, I don't know what
Mm-hmm.
it is, she's supposed to be like decaying,
Mm-hmm.
and you can
Right.
see marks on the neck
Okay.
or like in this area. So like she's like you can see like it's like white and kind of ghostly, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. And then like she's decaying, so there's like pieces that are different colors, but it's supposed to be
Right.
around her neck.
And I'm guessing that's because she was found in the water and she was already decomposing. That's why that's why her face and her body looks
Yeah.
decaying.
And was she in white? I guess she was just in.
The pictures all show white.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know,
Is
wonder-
that how it goes?
I don't know. I get. Yeah, because the
shows
ones I
white.
when I saw it was white,
But,
and
I
it
mean,
was a woman's.
When you see a ghost,
You see a ghost, you see a ghost.
you
I
see
mean,
white,
everybody
you see-
thinks that you see white
Right.
as a ghost.
Right.
But you do hear stories though about like people see ghosts like and they're like they were wearing like Civil War.
Yeah.
clothes.
Yes.
Right.
So
Yes. Yes.
I think that makes more sense.
And true because it was interesting because I think there was other places in Oak Grove that is haunted. That has been like it was interesting because Ed Cook did a bunch of research, and he said it was the Civil War. There was the Civil War,
The writers.
the writers and stuff in Civil War, and the cemeteries. So I'm like, I bet you
Well,
some of those cemeteries.
I live right across the road from a cemetery.
And I was going to
Oh,
ask,
wow.
that was my next question.
yeah.
Do you
so,
believe anything there may be
Which
spiritual?
cemetery?
Good Hope Cemetery?
Oh wow.
I used to live back there too.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's anything over there. I actually go over there quite often and try and clean it up a little bit because there's some graves back there that are so incredibly old, way back
Yes.
to the 1800s. But I will tell you, I have a cat named Ridley, and Ridley will go to the edge of the driveway and sit there and stare at the cemetery.
Just stare.
Just stare.
Because animals sense, and animals can see.
They
Animals,
can see.
They can see it. They
spirits.
can see the spirits.
Yeah.
They can see, yeah.
Wow. No. I was mind blown about that because me growing up as a kid in Oak Grove, we all used to call it Pet Cemetery.
Oh,
Wow.
because we actually thought, and this was everybody in Oak Grove, everybody thought that's where all the pets was getting buried.
Serious?
Because we would always drive by, see a dog either standing there, and it's crazy you said that a cat, your cat, stands there and probably feels the presence as well.
No, won't cross the road.
Wow,
Just stands there and stares.
that is very interesting.
So you guys called it Pet Cemetery.
We called it Pet Cemetery, even though we knew it was Good Hope Cemetery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you
every
thought-
time we went by, we
you
saw
saw
animals, so we
Yeah.
thought it was the animal revisiting their loved one, their pet
Oh,
friend,
wow.
whatever.
Oh, wow.
But that is very interesting when you said that. That's why I was in shock.
But I do think that there's something there at the cemetery, and my husband thinks I'm crazy for this, but there's a lot of like lost graves over there, and there's no markers on them. I was also told that it was originally a slave graveyard,
Wow.
so I could see that there's got to be some unrest somewhere.
Mhm.
But I do. When I saw the cat, I'm telling you, he'll sit there for an hour
Cat
just
we
staring.
like, no, and he won't go across the street for
Nope.
nothing.
Will not.
Do you get like when you are close to that? Do you kind of get like a little freaky?
You
a
know,
little bit?
when I go over there, I do feel something, but it's not like a
Sinister.
bad sense.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. I was
Yeah,
going
it's
to
not
say that it's
sinister.
probably
Yeah.
not the same as Ghost Bridge where
No,
there's such a
definitely.
negative
Yeah.
Right.
death
Yeah.
around
Bad
it.
energy.
Yeah. Whereas like that's a cemetery. They were buried properly,
Mhm.
you know, and they're probably not trying to
But I do
freak
think,
you out.
I do think because I go over there to clean it,
Right.
so
Oh,
I
do you?
I feel like it's like a
Oh.
welcome. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
You're respecting
They're yes,
them. Yeah.
and they respect you.
And there's
Exactly.
like a little thing of trees back there, and there's graves back there that are
Wow.
knocked over, and so I try to go back there and like wipe them off, and it sounds silly, but it's like
no names or anything
Yeah.
on the graves.
some of them I can't read.
Okay.
And then somebody
Wow.
told me once that a person dies 3 times, so like 3 deaths, like the first death when they actually die, then the second death when they're buried, and then the third death is the last time that someone says their name out loud.
Okay.
Wow.
So
Never heard of that.
when I go over there, I always say their names. Like, I don't want these people to be forgotten.
Right.
Right.
I sit there and sometimes I look at it and I wonder, like, what is your story? What happened?
Right.
It's
You know?
interesting. Yeah.
But yeah, so I always say their name.
Yeah.
I wish there was a name attached to Ghost Bridge.
Wow. Yeah,
That
me
would be-
too.
Everybody just knows it as Oak Grove Ghost Bridge.
Bridge, right.
Yeah. There's just so much history in Oak Grove, Jen. I mean, how long have you been a
20,
resident?
25 years.
Yeah. See,
Wow.
and you've seen and heard and all kinds of different things.
There's
and stuff.
also allegedly, like, in some of the little, like, treed areas that are, like, off the roads, there's graves back there, too.
Wow.
Really.
So there's, gosh, I think there's, like, 5
Wow.
around Oak Grove. And then there's also a cave in Oak Grove.
No.
Yeah.
I need
Really?
to know where this
Where
cave
is?
is.
Yeah, we need to know where this cave is.
So I'm not going to give you the exact location because I don't want people to, like, go down in there.
Right.
Um,
Because that could be dangerous.
It could be dangerous.
Yeah.
Right.
But it is in a prominent place in Oak Grove. There's a bunch of trees that kind of like obscure it.
Okay.
And it kind of goes down a little bit into like a little ravine. And there's a little cave entrance there. And you can go into that cave and it goes under the road and
No.
comes out on the other side.
No
Have
way.
you done it? Have you went through it?
Okay, so I found out about this in 2023, right when I had my back surgery.
Oh my
so
God.
I couldn't make that trek down there, but it's
Right.
on my bucket list to do that.
Wow.
So we need to get together and do it.
Yeah.
We all need to do
That would
it
be
and
awesome.
just
I wonder if there's
Yeah.
a story attached to the cave.
I want to go down there and just like see, like, is there anything on the wall?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because that would be a
Bones.
cool. That's because
We could just create our own story.
Janet, I always look for different tourism things, right? Like the attractions or like different things
We
to
did
do.
talk about like cleaning it up and making it a place.
Yeah,
Wow,
just
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
because I like with this Ghost Bridge thing.
Yeah.
And I was telling somebody, I said, how I just thought about it, because we had that ARPA fund, and they did this multi-jurisdiction program. Where I was a multi-jurisdiction. It was a whole big thing for all Kentucky, and it was called Kentucky After Dark. And had I realized it, I would have been in with that multi-jurisdiction campaign because it was a campaign to, hey, Kentucky After Dark, it's all of Kentucky.
And
it's all
it's
different.
really cool
And it
because
really
you
is
get like
cool.
almost like a passport that tells you the story of the place you're going, and you go and you get like a sticker or something.
The different haunted places in
and
in
it was
Kentucky.
really cool. And see, that happened before I got here because I had asked you about that. Like, why didn't you do this with Ghost Bridge? And you're like, you know what? Honestly, I didn't even think about it.
And that's so weird because I honestly didn't think about it because I think Hopkinsville's on it. I think they're in it.
Yeah,
as
they
well.
have something there.
They have something.
For the aliens or something. The
if I
goblins.
had, I think it was the
goblins
Kelly
or the-
Greenman, the Kelly Greenman thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I said, had I thought about this, I would have said, well, Oak Grove's got this really big, massive haunted bridge. Yeah, we
and
could
it does,
do
and it's so popular,
It
but
is
you don't
very
realize
popular.
how popular it is.
Everybody knows about Ghost Bridge.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
everybody knows, and I didn't even think about it, so I was like, nah, that's on me.
That's okay.
That's on me.
Oh,
So.
there'll be other chances.
Yeah, there'll be other chances.
That's
so,
right.
but we're gonna start saying, hey, you know, 'cause
There's going to be a whole movie.
yeah,
I know, there you go.
we're doing a movie about it. So hey,
right.
you know, that's very cool.
That's right.
Was there any other questions or anything? Did you want to say anything else about this?
I think we kind of pretty much covered
Yeah.
everything, but I do think that you guys need to go out there, even if it's during
Yeah.
the day. It's creepy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he went out and yeah. So
I
you
haven't
went
been out in a couple years.
Yeah.
Actually, I haven't been out since I got married, so that's about 5 years.
Maybe
so
you
I
need to take Michael.
Has he been out there before?
I'm sure he has. He knows all the stories and everything, but maybe I should take him out there so he can experience it at night.
Yes.
We gotta go
Gotta
at
go
night.
at night.
Gotta go at night.
Turn the car
Gotta
off.
go at
and,
night.
right.
You know, put it
Gotta
in
go.
neutral. We're gonna do everything. We're gonna turn the car off, put it in neutral, get out, record. We're gonna do it all.
Yeah, do the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then comment down below
Yeah,
what
right.
happened.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do it on I'll do it on our TikTok.
Oh,
too,
there
you
you
know?
go. Yeah,
There
and
you go.
yeah, she's getting really famous on the TikToks now. So
Good.
she's gonna have to do another TikTok.
Yeah, every time we go to
Yeah.
a conference with our people, they've all seen my TikToks and they're like, "We're just waiting for your next
next
one."
day-
And I'm
your
like,
next
"Look,
TikTok," and I
it
was
is a
like-
lot harder than you think to constantly come up with content
Yeah.
when you also have another job you have to do."
So, Lee, did you have anything? I mean,
No, I really appreciate all the info that was given because I really need this for the movie.
yeah,
that we're
I
gonna
can
be
give you
doing.
the sources also.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, because that way you can go around and stuff. And we're doing actually a casting call
We
for
are.
the movie. And what is it? March
8th.
March 8th. I'm sorry.
March 8th
Yeah,
from
here at-
12 to 3 here at Valor Hall.
Yep, we're gonna do.
Okay.
We're doing a little casting call and stuff. So we're gonna be doing
That's
that.
like next weekend.
That's like next.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like we get back from Frankfurt and then we're
I'm going to Georgia.
But we're gonna be right. We're gonna be right back. And we're back. So again, I want to thank Miss Janet Edwards. It was phenomenal. It was a lot of history, a lot of things that I didn't even know as our special guest. I am your host, Tracy Cunningham.
And I'm your co-host, Scarlett Mayfield.
And then now we're going to give this over to Lee because he's got the gossip of the week. Hit it, Lee.
So, for the gossip of the week, I'm gonna keep it simple. March 8th. 12 to 3. Be there. I'm telling you, it's going to be an unbelievable experience. We are going to be doing the movie for Ghost Bridge in Oak Grove, Kentucky. We want you to come, be yourself. We're going to have a good casting call. There will be some food provided. Yeah, come
So
out. Check it
what
out.
What are you looking for? Like a disembodied woman, I guess.
So in the casting call, I am going to have...
Should we come makeup ready?
Right. I will have a makeup artist do that part for her. But yeah, we're looking for anybody that's willing to come out and put on a good act because this is going to be on television. You know,
It's going to be on
Tubi.
Tubi.
We're
Tubi.
going for Tubi.
To clarify too, is this for exposure only, or is this for,
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
So this is for exposure only.
For right, yeah.
Yeah. So, but hey, if it blows up and ends up being the next Blair Witch Project,
Hey.
you never know, right? So yeah, it can be the next big thing, and I think it will be the next big thing for Oak Grove.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
in Valor Hall and for what we're trying to do.
Yeah,
So
and once it's released, we should have a movie night and play it.
a
Invite-
premiere.
and-
A
Invite-
premiere,
yeah, we
yes,
should.
we
Have a
do
movie
that.
premiere.
And Janet, you want to be in the movie?
Yes.
Yes.
Janice,
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I need to hear right there.
So I have to say, Lee, because of the gossip from the last 2 weeks
Yes.
about the truck in the water.
Yes.
She's the one that named the truck.
The Wonder Truck.
The Wonder Truck.
I call it the truck of wonder because I wonder what's going to happen.
Oh. Well, I told them I wonder where it's at now. Because that is hilarious.
I wonder why it's there. I wonder who owns it. We could go on.
Oh my goodness, I love it.
So yes, the gossip of the week. We love it when Lee comes in and he gives us gossip of the week because it's very comical and he's very humorous. So and then I tell him, I said, "Is that all you got?
Yeah.
Is that all you
Yeah,
got?"
last
Lee?
week you just want to talk about some weather.
What?
That's not, everybody knows that. It's not gossip.
For sure. But yes, and I will say it again, March 8th, please be there. Valor Hall. We will be there, ready for the movie auditions, casting call, all that. So yeah, we're excited and I look forward for you being in the movie, Janet.
All right.
Yes.
Janet, do you have any gossip for us of the week?
Gossip of the week.
Gossip of the week.
Don't have anything. I wasn't prepared for that because I'm pretty sure I could jump on Facebook and find some gossip.
Really fast,
Real fast, like. We research. Okay, well, I think that this has been a fabulous podcast this week, and thank you again, Miss Janet.
It was so much fun.
Good.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad. We're going to have you back. You know that.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
Scarlett, you want to tell everybody where they can listen to us?
Yeah, well, if you're already listening, that's awesome. Please share the podcast so everybody else can find us. We're on Spotify, of course. We're on Apple. And you can also go to our YouTube if you want to see the videos. Lee puts them together. He does a wonderful job. So just make sure you subscribe so that you can constantly hear about us every week. And give us some comments, some feedback. We'd love to hear what you guys have thoughts on, or maybe you have some gossip. I don't know.
Okay, and then we'll just see you next week.
Yeah.
How's that?